A company of friends calls into a new house and decides to examine the attic. There they find a stabbed box in which there is a doll wrapped in a chain by name, not Finley. Alex is very excited by the find and offers friends not to touch anything, but Chris assures her that this is just a doll and he always dreamed of becoming a curtainer. In the end, they decide to leave the doll in the attic in the box. At night, Jenny wakes up when he heard the sound in the attic. Chris joins her, holding a bat in his hand. After the roar came from the attic, Chris decides to check the attic, while Jenny and Alex are waiting for him in the room. After some time, the guy shows the mouse, considering it the culprit of the night anxiety. Alex and Chris go to bed again. Jenny goes to her room. When she lay down in her bed, her zbudoda was the sound of a falling chain. She sees the Finley doll sitting on the chair. This is not very embarrassing the girl. She just puts the doll out the door. The next morning, during breakfast on the table with pancakes, the Finley doll sits. After an uncontrolled conversation, Chris goes to work, leaving the girls alone in the apartment. Jenny puts kitchen appliances on the table, on which Finley put his eyes. Apparently this doll conceived something bad. Jenny sees that the doll has disappeared from the table and thinks that it is. Alex jokes over her when she brings posterior things to the room. There is a Finley with a knife behind her in the hands. She manages to cope with the offender, thanks to a good kick, which the doll did not expect. After that, Finley takes a toaster and decides to deal with Alex, which is at this time in the bathroom. After that, Alec calls Chris and asks to come home. When Chris comes home, Finley notices him and decides to deal with him, at least with him. To do this, he takes a bat, stands on the stairs to kill Chris. But the doll misses again, an unsuccessful attempt to kill. After, as we understand, friends reconciled with a living doll and live with them in the same house. Alex cuts vegetables and Finley watches her. Suddenly the doll decides to pour the musquaquis into food. After that, when Chris gets into the car, Finley is on the backsidens. Finley's next attempt to deal with people, but his deadly trap again endures. Friends in the company with a doll, Finley plays charades. Chris shows a killer doll with a knife. Girls think this is Chucky, but the guy notes that he is missing, and friends unanimously guess that this is Finley. The upset Finley is decided on another attempt to kill and takes a gas spray. He attacks a girl, but the killer does not go out again, somehow harm these people. In the next scene, Finley fixed the crossbow behind his back. With the help of a thread, Chris activated this deadly trap. A scream is heard from the room, and Finley thinks that he finally managed to kill at least one of these friends. But having come to the crime scene, he sees that the company screams at the cat as he has shit on the carpet, and the Finley trap did not work. He hears friends report a cat and want to punish it, but since the killer doll made friends with the cat, then the film does not take wine. The upset Finley says goodbye to the cat, returns to the attic to his box. Finley is so sad that he even begins to cry. At night, robbers burst into the house, stun Chris Ty, girls. All this hears Finley descends to check. Suddenly he sees connected friends. One of the robbers instructs a weapon on a cat. Finley, frantic, decides to figure it out. One of the robbers decides to have fun with the girl, the other checks the attic in the house. We see how Finley was disguised in the attic among other toys. Suddenly, balls rolled under the legs of the robber, and the man falls into the trap. Finley manages to kill the robber. The doll is very pleased. After that, Finley is nightmaring the last robber and straightens out with it. After some time, friends give Finley a gift, together with him drink a milk cocktail. Suddenly, the company notices a strange taste. It turns out that Finley mixed something into their drink, and what exactly? Write your guesses in the comments.